Well, at least 20 people are missing in Japan after a landslide near Tokyo. Take a look at this video. Homes have been swept away in the city of Atami. It's just southwest of the capital. Torrential rain has been soaking the area for several days. Let's get an update and bring in Michael Penn. He's the president of the Shingetsu News Agency, joining us from Tokyo. Thanks for speaking to us. I mean, the pictures are pretty astounding, very scary. Just talk us through the scale of the destruction that's been caused and what you're hearing.
Okay, well, the pictures actually very much do tell the story. It is just that one area where these landslides have occurred. There have been other problems caused by the heavy rain, but not on that scale. Somewhere higher up on that mountain, which is basically a coastal area of a resort town. Atami's very much kind of a resort town area. The gravel was made loose by a long period of heavy rain, and this mudslide and debris just clattered down the mountain and started taking houses with it. According to the authorities, about 19 or 20 people are thought to be missing at this point. Really it was a fearsome moment there for those in the neighborhood, and the authorities are warning people to look out for more because the rain hasn't entirely stopped, and this is rainy season in Japan.
Yeah, and authorities are also warning that the rain will continue over the next few days, so not very good news for people who live there. But on the 19 or 20 people, as you mentioned, that are missing, are you hearing anything about their fate, and do authorities expect that number to rise?
It's not exactly clear at this point. From experience in very similar sort of natural disasters, it usually takes actually a couple of days before the exact number is known, because the Japanese authorities tend to be very meticulous about making sure that what they report to the media is as accurate as possible. So what I would expect is that, these 19 or 20 people or so will probably be listed as missing for some time until their bodies begin to pull out. And then one by one, the number of confirmed deaths will probably rise to something like the number of missing.
And the Prime Minister, we know, has called for an emergency meeting, so we'll wait to see what comes out of that. But we also know that the local government is now requesting military assistance for a rescue mission. I mean, how significant is it that the military has to be called in?
Well, actually, in Japan, that's not so unusual in the case of natural disasters. I mean, as you probably know, Japan is very much a natural disaster country. I mean, there may be no country on earth that has as many natural disasters in small areas as Japan does. Volcanoes, earthquakes, landslides, floods. It gets hit very heavy. And so the self-defense forces, one of their missions is to go to these disaster zones and to kind of add some manpower to a situation where, otherwise local authorities might be overwhelmed.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for breaking that down for us. Michael Penn, we appreciate your time from Tokyo.
Thank you.